Michael, we're going to talk about the changes to the leasehold system finally making their way to Parliament. Why does this matter? Why should people care about this?
Well, there are hundreds of thousands of people who own leasehold properties, and they all thought, quite rightly, when they bought those properties, they were buying them for good, as it were. What we're doing today is making sure that that investment is secure for the future. We're liberating them from some of the restrictions and also some of the costs that leasehold flats have, or the leasehold type of tenure has imposed on them. So when you buy a leasehold flat, you buy it for a set number of years. As those years diminish, the value of your property falls. And that's unlike any other form of property ownership. So what we're doing is allowing people to transform their lease to a 990-year lease. So you really do own, take back control of the property. We're also dealing with some of the abuses that freeholders have indulged in. They charge ground rents, which are sometimes excessive, and they also impose service charges, which are sometimes opaque and unfair. So we're dealing with those as well.
So does that mean all flats will be covered on this? There will be no longer flats available in this country on a leasehold system?
No, there will be flats that will be built on and offered on a leasehold system, but the leasehold system will have fundamentally changed. And it will have fundamentally changed with a shift of power away from the freeholder and to the leaseholder. So you'll be able to secure your leasehold for, as I say, 990 years. That's effectively, in real terms, proper ownership. The other thing is that the freeholder in the past has been able to jack up ground rents. That was never the intent when ground rents existed. So we're consulting on capping those at a peppercorn level. It's also the case that obviously in a block of flats there are some facilities that need to be maintained on a common basis, the common parts and so on. Some of the freeholders have used that as an opportunity to levy excessive service charges. So we're saying that those service charges now need to be transparent, and if the leaseholder or leaseholders object, then there's a form of legal redress which can ensure that those service charges come down.
So if I have a flat now on a 60-year lease,
yeah,
will that, because of your legislation, become a 999-year lease?
Yeah, 990-year, exactly. You can transform it to that. And it was the case that in the past, if you were trying to extend the lease, there was something called marriage value that you had to pay. That won't apply. So it will be a direct transfer of control and indeed actually of wealth to those who are leaseholders.
So someone is going to actually, their house, because someone who own a flat on a 50-year lease, their flat's going to be worth a lot more money now because of this.
It should be worth more, yes. And it's a transfer from the people who own the freeholds to the leaseholder. And in effect, we hope that it will obviously reduce the uncertainty that the owner of that flat has about their future, but also it will consolidate the value of that flat for the leaseholder as well.
And can you get this done by the next election? That's the great question you'll be asked for every single thing that you now do until an election happens.
No, and I think we will, because even though there are some people who, will try to amend the bill in certain ways, the basic thrust of the bill, the overwhelming majority of people in the House of Commons agree with. So, there are critics of what we're doing. Some who say that we shouldn't be doing this at all because it harms freeholders and harms investment. Some who say that we should go further. But overall, the broad thrust of the bill is supported by the overwhelming majority of MPs.